Our transmission was interrupted, but we were able to escape with the recordings and enough equipment to rebuild the transmitter. Be on the lookout. The agents of ignorance are everywhere. Remember, private message me. Don't send it out to everybody to see in a post to the classroom. Let's talk about the other kind of angles. When two lines cross each other, here in Math Garage, we know that there are special names for some of these intersections. You can add them together, like angle A and angle B. Notice that the bottom of that is a straight line. Cool stuff. If A and B add together, they make a supplementary angle. What? Yes, a pair of supplementary angles is any two angles that, when added together, equal 180 degrees. Boom. Supplementary angles equal 180 degrees when added together. So, that means that if you're adding two angles and you don't know one of them, but you know the other one, and you know that together they will form a straight line because they look something like this, that means you can say, haha, if I know A, I can solve for B. If I know B, I can solve for A. They add up to 180. You could do that on one of these other examples, like angle D and E, even though the lines cross. D plus E will equal 180. D plus G will also equal 180. What about X and Z? Will those total 180? Definitely not. But X and W or X and Y, either of those will total 180 degrees. If you want to get Z in on the game, Z and Y, 180. Z and W, 180. Watch out. You might get what you're after. What else have we got? We've got angles up here, H, M, and S. Hefner Middle School? Yes. So, H, M, and S. H has a little square in the corner. What does that mean? Why is there a square in the corner? Squares have 4 90-degree angles, and that means that is a 90-degree angle. So, since H is a 90-degree angle, what do M and S add up together? Well, M for middle and S for school will add together to equal the other 90 degrees. Why will they equal the other 90 degrees? Because together, H, M, and S are supplementary. Did you know there's a special name for M and S? If you have two angles that add together to equal 90, they are complementary angles equal 90. So, that means that M plus S equals 90. If M were 30, S would be 60. If M were 15, S would be 75. How about if M was 35? Well, that means 90 minus 35 is going to be 55. How about if S was 45? If S is 45, then M is 45 because 45 plus 45 equals 90, and we know they are complementary angles. The angles that add together to equal 90 are complementary angles. How are we going to remember the difference between supplementary and complementary? Well, has anybody ever said something nice to you? I know they have. I try to say nice things to y'all all the time. Maybe you listen, maybe you don't. But people say nice things to you. Why? Because you're a good person. Also, sometimes you've got like your hair on fleek, your nails done, I don't know. You know, you're rocking the new kicks, whatever it is. But when you see somebody that like they're looking fly that day, you should tell them. They might need to hear it. Sometimes when you're having a rough day and somebody tells you that like you got your look going, that might cheer you up a little. So, it's always right to compliment someone. If you compliment someone, it is the right thing to do. We should always say nice things about each other. complement one another. That is the right thing to do. And right angles are 90. So complementary angles add together to equal 90. Cool. So complement 90. Complementary angles 90.
Why do we remember that supplementary angles are 180? Well, you could just remember it's the other one. Or
you could remember that if you've got a book that you're reading, sometimes they'll send out another book to supplement the original information. That means that it's in addition to. It's there to add to it, to increase the knowledge base. So a supplement to the original book or the original manual.
If you look at that page turning, it's a
supplementary angle.
Okay, that one's cheesy. But if you remember that complementary angles are 90 degrees, you'll probably be doing fine and know that the supplementary angles are 180 degrees. 180, supplement. 90, complement. Can you have 4 complementary angles that add together and all together are supplementary? Yes, you can. This is a problem I'm not working right now. Tell me what the missing angle is. Tell me what kind of angles these are. It says these 2 angles are blank angles. Well, which 2 angles are we talking about? We're talking about angle D and the 35 degree angle. Tell me the relationship that the 2 of them have. Here's one. Then we're going to move on. Angle VYW. So that goes from the V down to the Y, back to the W. We want to know what is the measurement of angle VYW. If you have a straight line up and down, those angles are in a special relationship. Angle X and angle Z. Angle X and angle Z are in a special relationship. They are vertical angles, one right above the other one. Angle W and angle Y are also in a special relationship. We don't say that it's a horizontal relationship. W and Y are in a vertical angle relationship. We call them a vertical angle pair, even though they're horizontal from one another. Let's talk about W and Y are vertical angles. If you know the measurement of one vertical angle, the other vertical angle is the same. W is the same as Y. Y is the same as W. Is Y the same as Z? They're both in vertical relationships, but they're not in vertical relationships with each other. So, since W is the same as Y, Z and X, they're the same. If we know Z, can we figure out what Y is? Well, yeah, because they're supplementary angles. Look, they make a straight line together. That's kind of all right. But when it comes down to it, if we know one of those angles, we can find the others. Anytime you've got 2 lines crossing, the lines will total 360 degrees all the way around. It's like a circle. 360 degrees all the way around. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. What does it mean? 360 degrees all the way around means that if angle Z is, let's say, 30 degrees, then angle X is also 30 degrees. 30 plus 30 is 60. How many angles do we have left? We have 2 angles left. 360 degrees all the way around, 30 and 30. We've used up 60. The remaining 2 angles have to total 300. But since they are vertical angles across from each other, we can say that W and Y would each be 150 degrees. 150 plus 150 equals 300. And 300 plus 30 plus 30, 360. Pretty cool stuff. Let's show you another card. Let's see, we've got... We want to know what kind of angle X is. X is a... I don't know. It's some kind of angle. We're talking about X all by itself, not in relationship to the 54-degree angle. But tell me what X measures, and tell me what kind of angle is that. Let's look at this. D and F. Are they big angles or small angles? Small angles. What do we call triangles with only small angles? They are adorable! Also, they're acute. Acute angles. D and E are supplementary, but D and F are vertical angles. D and F are both tiny, adorable, acute angles. Acute angles less than 90 degrees. G and E, vertical angles. Vertical from each other, they will measure the same. G plus F equals 180. D plus E equals 180. G and E are big, wide angles. If you've got a big, wide angle, well, that's just nobody's business, because that is an obtuse angle. Obtuse angles are the big, wide ones. So, how about another card, y'all? Together, the 38-degree angle and angle A are what? Also, what is the measure of A? So, let's look at this some more. If we have any one of the angles in two intersecting lines, we can figure out the rest. That's pretty fantastic. If we have any one of the angles in a supplementary pair, we can figure out the other one. Two intersecting lines have how many supplementary angle pairs? How many angle pairs do we have that are supplementary when we've got two intersecting lines? These two are supplementary. Those two are supplementary. Those two are supplementary. And the other two are supplementary. There are 4 pairs of supplementary angles. That's like 8 angles altogether, but we've got only 4 angles. Well, it's just that we recycle. Hooray for the environment. We've reused some of the angles. What about complementary angles? If we know one, we can find the other one. Good stuff. Tell me about angles P and C. Are angles P and C complementary, supplementary, or something altogether? Well, C is an acute angle because it's small and adorable. Aww. P is an obtuse angle. And don't you try to make anything of it. He's a little obtuse. But what do they do together? Together they form a straight line, which means they're supplementary angles. If you've got supplementary angles, they add up to 180 degrees. All we need to know is P or C, and then we'll know the other one. That's about it for the lesson. You might be able to hear. They're coming. We better shut down Math Garage for tonight. I'll see you later.